Okay, hi, and welcome to another episode of Childhood Confessions. I've been thinking about this episode for a while, and I wasn't sure how to start it because being quiet does not sound like a big story, it does not sound dramatic, it doesn't sound traumatic, it just sounds normal. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized that I wasn't born quiet, I became quiet, and there's a difference. I think after everything I shared in the last episode, the discipline, the fear, watching my sister, learning what happens when you get it wrong, something in me adjusted. I don't remember deciding I'm going to be quiet now. It wasn't a conscious thing. It was just more like my body figured out that speaking up was risky. Explaining yourself could look like talking back. Crying too much could make things worse. Asking questions could be seen as challenging authority. So slowly, I just started saying less. And then you say less, people don't notice you as much again. And when people don't notice you, you feel safer. At least that's what it felt like. And then school happened. In one of the earlier episodes, I think episode 1, I mentioned that I left school after I beat up a boy. Didn't really explain where I went to after that. I got into a very good school, very expensive, one of those schools where you can tell immediately that money lives here. But I didn't pay tuition, I was on scholarship. That sounds amazing, Abby. And academically it was, but emotionally it was something else. Most of the kids there were from wealthy families, their parents had cars, nice cars. They were dropped off in the morning and picked up after school. They came to school with snacks. Me, I've never seen some of the snacks that they used to come to school with before. Lunch boxes full, extra to share with their friends. While I would go to school with nothing. On the days we were allowed to wear personal clothes, which was actually Wednesdays, it was sports day and the school didn't have a sportswear, so you could actually wear anything. They looked like they literally stepped out of a magazine, new shoes, matching outfits, confident. And I had one outfit, one green outfit, a shirt, a green shirt, and a green skirt that my mom had gotten for me because on my report card it was written that I was in greenhouse. So she bought that outfit for me to wear every single Wednesday. Even when it faded or when it started to tear, I would still wear it. And instead of my mom dropping me off, she would find a neighbor whose children attended the same school so I could go with them. Or she would put me in a car and then tell them where to drop me at, hoping that God will protect me. Every day I felt it. I felt the difference. I felt the gap, the unspoken awareness that I didn't come from where they came from. And children notice everything. My self-esteem didn't just drop. It did too, like it disappeared. And rich kids, they can be very mean. Not always loudly. Oh. Sometimes it's in the way they look at you, the way they exclude you, the way they laugh a little too long. They picked on me. Whenever they had the chance and I had no friends. None at all. Like even one friend. I didn't have a friend for the longest time. I didn't talk to anyone. I went to school, I sat down, I listened, and I left. The quiet child had followed me. But now it wasn't just fear, it was shame. When you already learned at home that drawing attention is dangerous, and then you enter a space where you already feel small, you shrink even more. You don't volunteer answers, you don't try to join conversations, you don't raise your hand too high, because what if they laugh? What if they look at you? What if they remind you that you don't belong? So you disappear in plain sight. They can see you, but they don't know you are there. And after a while, people just accepted that that's who I am. She's quiet. No, she doesn't talk too much. She's just reserved. But nobody asks why. And the thing is, I think being quiet protected me. If I didn't speak, they had less to attack. If I didn't try, I couldn't fail publicly. If I didn't expect friendship, I wouldn't be disappointed. Silence became strategy. And it worked. But it also cost me something. It cost me connection. It cost me confidence. It cost me the chance to figure out who I actually was outside of survival. And the truth is, that quiet girl, she still shows up sometimes. In rooms where I feel out of place, in conversations where I'm not sure I belong, in opportunities where I question if I'm good enough. I still sometimes feel like that scholarship girl in a room full of people who seem like they naturally fit, like they were born into the right spaces. And I have to remind myself on most days that I earned my place too. Even if I didn't arrive in a car, even if na bike or car that I carry home, even if I didn't have snacks to share, even if I wore the same outfit every single week, I don't judge that little girl anymore for being quiet, for shrinking, for protecting herself. She was navigating class differences, fear, loneliness, and she was doing it alone. Of course, she got quiet. Silence made sense. But I'm learning now that I do not have to disappear to be safe. I don't have to shrink to belong. I don't have to be the quiet one just because I learned how. This podcast, in a way, feels like me giving that little girl a microphone, not to shout, just to exist fully. Now, if you were the quiet one, the one who did not complain, the one who handled things alone and on their own, the one who felt different but didn't know how to say it, maybe you weren't born that way either. Maybe you adapted. An adaptation is not identity. You are allowed to take up space now. You are allowed to speak, even if your voice shakes. In the next episode, I'll share more specific stories from my primary school because a lot went down. A lot happened there. But for now, I just want to sit with this quiet girl, with that quiet child, and I want to let her know that she is seen. Thank you for listening. If this episode touched something in you, be gentle with yourself. Silence kept you safe once, but you don't have to live there forever. Now you can follow Childhood Confessions on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Childhood Confessions, and I will always say peace out. Bye.